I was just getting my model all ready and they're on the bed, which is fantastic. So welcome model. They're not going to say anything. Okay, so you've got your models arriving very, very shortly. I just want to demonstrate just quickly the massage element of your pedicures. Just quickly, I just want to make sure you can see a leg nice and easily. There we go. I think we're in. So ideally we will have gone through the first part of our pedicure. We've soaked, we've done the cuticles. You do everything exactly the same way as you would do a manicure, but you're doing it on the feet. Nice and simple. Okay, and we'll get Sandra to demonstrate this in more detail next week as well, from start to finish, which will be brilliant. I'll make sure she's got a model for that whole time, but I've only got my model here for a very short time, so we'll get cracking. So the feet are clean, we've done the toes, we've done the cuticles, we've exfoliated, the legs are nice and dry, and now we're going to be going on to our massage element. So when I'm applying my cream, I actually like a good amount of cream in my hand. Okay, you can use an oil as well, but I just prefer to use a cream. You can use an oil and a cream mix. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so when I'm mixing it together, I don't want to hear any of this business. Okay, everything is slow when you're spreading your creams, and everything is luxurious. Okay, I start off on the feet, and I've got this hand covered as well. I glide up and over the knee, and then I wrap around and under the foot, and I kind of sandwich off, and I'm kind of doing a nice pressure off the toes. Okay, and I'm gliding down. We're starting off with some beautiful effleurage movements. So effleurage movements are what we start and what we finish a massage with every single time. I'm actually going under the heel, and I'm actually raising this up on my hand. You can use like a rolled up towel under the heel if you would like to. It's entirely up to you and the comfort of your client. Okay, we go up over the knee because we really want to moisturize that knee, and down the feet. Every movement we do 3 times. Okay, and from here, I'm going to go on to do circles with my fingers, and my hands are flat against the client, and I'm using my fingers to rotate up the calf muscle and then over the knee. Okay, and we do that 3 times. And everything is gliding and everything is relaxing. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bend my client's leg at the knee. So if you can bend your knee up for me and put your foot flat on the ground, that's great. And I'm just going to angle a little bit, and I'm going to come up the back of the calf. So working on that lymphatic drainage, draining everything into the node behind the back of the knee there, and gliding up like so. Okay, so I'm just exaggerating this so you can see the movement over and over again. And then from there, we're going to glide down. So this inside hand is going behind the back of the knee, or holding onto the bottom of the calf. The other hand is around the back of the heel and the ankle. And I'm actually supporting the leg and bringing this down and gliding that back hand down and off the foot. My hands are on each side of the foot and they're gliding down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glide up the top part of the foot. And I'm going to draw a great big love heart with a really good pressure with my thumb. So I'm gliding up the middle of the foot, gliding down, and I'm just in front of, so I've got a nice ankle bone just there, and I'm going in front of the ankle bone and down. And I'm doing this exactly the same on the inside of the foot as well. And I do this 3 times. And then from here, I'm going to do little circles. So doing thumb circles together, all the way up the middle of the foot. And then I'm going to go down the inside of the foot, and I'm doing exactly the same thing there, but I'm actually going around like the inner ankle joint. I'm actually going scooping around it, which you'll see on the other side. Come around this side. I'll show you that movement again. It's exactly the same on the interior of the foot. So around the ankle bone and up. I'm then going to flip my hands under the foot. Okay, when you come up, you can actually do a nice gliding movement and down. I'm now going to sit down. You can do this all sitting down, but I actually did that standing up. So now I'm going up the middle of the, now going up the middle of the foot. And again, I'm just doing these movements, literally one thumb over the other, all the way and down each side of the foot. So I'm going up the middle of the foot, starting, so you've got your heel, and then you've got just in front of the heel, just there. I'm actually going to that little soft pop spot just there, both thumbs together, one on top of the other, doing little circles all the way up the foot and round over the ball of the foot and gliding down the side. I'm actually doing quite a good pressure coming down each side of the foot there. And then we're going to be gliding up the foot again. And down. And again, we do that 3 times. Beautiful. And then from this, I'm going to take the hand that's on the outside of the foot over the top, and I'm going to clasp onto that big toe. So my thumb is pointing down, and I'm actually going to do rocking movements with my thumb, and I'm gliding up the big toe, like right up the center of the big toe in like a rocking movement with my thumb, massaging with this part of the joint of my thumb. Now, everyone's thumbs have different flexibilities. My thumbs actually hyperextend. They actually go the wrong way. So that actually helps me with this. You can just use the tip of your thumb if that's what your body dynamics allow you to do. So you can do it this way as well. And again, you do that 3 times, glide off. And I don't want to see a pinch like that. You sometimes see certain people just pull off with people's toes, but everything here is a really nice graceful movement. When you've come off, you've done 3 of those, we then go on to the other toe and we're working up the inside muscles. Because here in Australia, a lot of people have what we call club toe, and you can see on my client's toe here, he has a club toe, what we call a club toe, and that's when toes have been trained to grip onto thongs and all the toes end up very tight and curved over. So consequently, when the nails grow, they can actually hit their shoes and actually cause a bit of an issue there. So they always have to keep their nails quite short. You'll probably find that it's very, very common here in Australia. About 70% of your clients will have this issue. And it's just from wearing thongs from a really, really young age. It's quite normal. Doesn't really cause any major dramas. It just means that the muscles in this toe have become quite stressed. So I actually really like to make sure I really am massaging up underneath those actual toe muscles, okay, along those phalanges, and really working into and gliding up and over the pad of the toe. And this is if you've got long nails, sometimes this can be a little bit of an issue because you haven't quite got access, but you can come in from the side and come in from underneath as well if you do have nail extensions on yourself, and actually work up this way. I just prefer to go over the top, but I do a lot of facials. My fingernails are actually quite short. So work all the way along, and we do each toe 3 times, and then we would glide down again. And then we're going to do alternate little thumb circles, working all the way along the pad, right underneath where the toes join into the foot. So right along, up close to where the toes join the foot, just doing little alternative little circles, getting everything moving there. And then some nice deep gliding movements, almost like little love hearts, coming up the ball of the foot and out over the toes to really drain, okay, the feet up and out this way. And then I'm going to glide down. I'm going to sandwich the feet. Come down again, doing some nice good circles up the feet, up and over. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to glide over the feet again, and I'm going to come all the way up the legs, over the knee, come down, under the feet, and I'm going to sandwich it, what I call it a sandwich the feet. I'm actually pushing my hands together here, not so it's uncomfortable, but just so it's a nice pressure. And up, and give the toes a really good squeeze and glide off, and then flick away that negative energy and give your hands a little shake as well. And that will be a really beautiful, relaxing foot massage for your client. Okay, so that's the way I do things. It's a little bit different to your instructions in your Demi International protocol, but that's the massage that I incorporate a lot. You can go into more depth. You can do pressures, more reflexology pressures, where you start off at the heel and you thumb walk with your thumb all the way up the outside of the foot. And this feels quite nice as well. And this actually helps to release tension. And you can actually do the same on the inside. Bend that knee. Up the inside of the foot as well. And actually thumb walk up. This is more of a reflexology move, all the way up. And you can actually finish with a really good pressure on the tip of the big toe as well. And in that joint where the big toe joins into the foot, there's like a little gap. You can actually do a really nice pressure in there as well. So there's a couple of little reflexology moves that you can incorporate into your client's pedicure, which is quite nice. So that's the massage movement. I mean, you can incorporate your own massage movements. If you've ever received a pedicure and you've discovered, oh, I really like that movement, I really want to incorporate that, and you've learned that over the time that you've been doing hands and feet and things like that, you're more than welcome to change things up a bit. But as long as you are linking your moves and everything flows beautifully and you go into your next move in a relaxing manner, and you're not stopping and starting on one area, and you're not finishing the limb, like you're changing your movements halfway through the movement and you're going into something else. As long as everything flows, I'm more than happy, because it's about your client's relaxation at the end of the day, and they come first. Okay, and I want you to be the best that you possibly can be. You can do massage movements on top of the toes. So you can actually, so the movement that we were doing underneath, that gliding up the toes, you can actually do it on the tops of the toes as well. It honestly depends on how much time you have to spend on your massage element, okay? Because some salons will allow you 20 minutes to do the foot massage, and that's 10 minutes on each foot, or they might even allow even more. Some people like a really good half an hour foot massage, foot and leg massage, and that's where you need to learn more massage movements. But for this, it's literally a 5-minute massage on each foot that's incorporated within your hour pedicure. Okay, does anybody have any questions? No, everyone's good. Beautiful. Christine, I can see that you've already started your client. That's absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to let everybody rock and roll. Let me just let Stesha in. I realise she's been waiting. There we go. Okay, welcome Stesha. Sorry, I didn't realise you were waiting in the waiting room, but that's fine. So we've just demonstrated our foot massage, and then I'm going to go on to demonstrate a nice French technique as well. Okay, so for my client, I'm going to get you to bend your knee for me. Okay, put your feet on here. Okay, actually, what I'm going to do as well is when you are removing your would help you see your feet. When you are removing your exfoliator, so that was our massage element. I'm going to quickly demonstrate how you would exfoliate someone's legs, just so you can see the movements, and then also how we remove the product as well. So when we are exfoliating, sometimes you'll do it with the feet in the bowl. Imagine the feet are in the bowl. Sometimes you are out of the bowl. Depends on how your salon operates. I apply in exactly the same way as I would do my moisturizer. Okay, but because it's an exfoliator, it's a quick treatment. So everything is quick, because what the idea of an exfoliation is that we're actually removing dead skin cells. So we go around the knee, go up and under, and I would wet my hands and work that in again. And then I would actually lift my foot up and I would go around the heel. And I'd hold on to the toes, and I'd usually bend them back a little bit, but don't give your client cramp. And I would actually work the scrub into the balls of the feet, and I'd also work it into the actual cuticles as well, because as I say, that really helps to get everything moving. Okay, and then to remove this product, you would obviously have your hot towel cabbie, you've got a collection of hot towels in a rice cooker, or you've got a nice bowl of hot soapy water where you can actually submerge your little hand towels or terry toweling nappies. As say, I use a cut terry toweling nappy. You can actually cover the leg with a nice hot wet towel and actually emulsify that exfoliator and remove that. Okay, you can then fold the towel in half, so you end up becoming, your hand becomes like a little tablecloth, and you can actually use that to lift up and glide down and under. Swap hands. And then you can make sure that you actually remove it. You glide between each toe and make sure that you've got all of that scrub out from each individual toenail. And you'll be amazed at what you can actually get off people's feet with an exfoliator. Like sometimes your towels will be pretty black, even when you've already soaked the feet and you think that the feet are generally clean. The exfoliator tends to get a lot more off, which is quite fascinating. And then you can go on with the rest of your pedicure. Generally speaking, if your towels aren't soaking wet, you don't need to then dry the leg, but use your judgment. If you feel like you need to dry the leg, you do exactly the same process. You could go off, and this will actually remove any little granules that are outstanding. Okay, too easy. I always like to keep a clean towel on my lap just to catch any debris, or when I'm pedi paddling, it catches any skin and it's not going on my uniform, because obviously I'm working all day long. Sometimes I do actually, at different salons, I've actually had a special apron that I've worn to do the treatments with. Everyone works quite differently. It's entirely up to you. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? Everyone's quite happy cracking on there. Too easy. Beautiful. Well, I'm going to demonstrate a French polish now. Okay, so you would take your nail polish off on the toes exactly the same way as you would do the fingernails. So you submerge your cotton balls in your polish remover. You really like squeeze it out, and then you would hold it onto the toes to let that product penetrate into your toenail polish, and then you would squeak off, okay? And you'd go back and do them all like that. If you have like a red polish or a dark color that you're removing, I'd probably end up going through a few cotton balls or cotton pads just to prevent staining of the actual toes themselves with the color that it is that they have on their toes. That's how I would do it, rather than this business, because all you're going to do is spread it around. It needs to penetrate, and the less movement, the better, and you're literally making it emulsify and melting that nail polish down to be able to remove that. When we're doing our cuticles, we make sure that we do have our cuticle product in place. And when we are pushing, we're not really pushing down into the matrix of the nail, because that's where our nail grows from. It can be quite uncomfortable, it can be quite delicate. But what we are doing in a pedicure that's different to a manicure, making sure that we get all the funky stuff around the nail. All right, so we are actually making sure that we have a nail pad to hand. If I use a little nail wipe, sometimes I'll use a cotton pad, so on and so forth. I'll get you to just bend your knee a little bit for me. Perfect. And then when I'm actually doing this, I make sure that I support with my little finger. I'm anchoring on, so I have full control of my nail utensils, and I'm gliding around the nail. I'm not pushing too hard, but I am making sure that I'm getting everything off the nail and lifting the cuticle where it needs to be, and removing anything and wiping it, not on my towel on my lap, but on my nail wipe itself. And I actually glide down the sides of the nail, and I actually go under the end of the toenail as well, gently, to make sure I'm lifting out any yucky skin debris, sock debris, all that kind of thing, so that when I actually go to polish the nails, that they actually look perfect and they look good. Okay, we want these to be the best they can be, and I want your clients to have the best pedicure possible. People who don't go around and underneath the pedicure, underneath the feet and around the cuticles effectively enough, your polish will not sit correctly, and it's that simple. Okay. You can use your cuticle nippers as and where required. Sometimes you won't need them, and that's totally fine. You don't have to use them. You don't have to cut the cuticle. There was a bit of a stage there years ago where it was a bit of a craze. Everyone had to cut cuticle, and they all went a bit bonkers. And then there was a stage where there's a whole generation of nail techs that don't use cuticle nippers at all. They just use orange sticks, and that's fine. I want you to use a blend of both. I'm teaching you these skills so that you have the option. If you need to nip, remember we have our cuticle nippers. The blade is facing, obviously the blade is facing downwards. Our thumb sits in that groove like so. And this is how we hold our cuticle nippers. Okay, just like that, so that we have perfect control every time. So that when I'm using them on the toes, I know that I'm not going to clip live tissue. I'm not going to cause bleeding. All I'm doing is I'm removing any excess hangnails, any little straggly bits. And I basically, I nip and I pull. And it's quite a quick movement. And I glide across the nail plate and I just nip off anything that I need to. You'll probably need to do more nipping on the toes than what you would do on the fingers. Everybody is quite different. And when we are filing the toes as well, I always support the toe that I'm filing, and I usually go in one direction, okay, just to make sure. Now I file quite quickly, but I have been doing it for a really long time. When you're doing this, you may start doing it more slowly, okay? And I'll come in from the other side. So I go all the way around over the whole nail first, and then I'll come towards the middle from the outer corner, because I always find that That's how I work. And that's quite efficient. And I always take off the sharp corners because I don't want them to dig into my client and cause any ingrown toenails, but also at the same time, I don't ever create a really round nail because that can, as the nail grows out, and as those corners grow back, they can start to dig in and cause an ingrown toenail. So I tend to go pretty straight with just taking the sharp corners off, but not creating a standard rounded toenail. Some people like a rounded toenail, and that's fine. Work with your clients' wants and needs, but generally I wouldn't just go ahead and create a really rounded toenail because you can cause an ingrown toenail from doing that. Okay, and then I go all the way along. You can use your nail clippers. What you might find is on someone who does have club toes, you do need to go backwards and forwards because you need to hook underneath the nail because the nail grows round and over the end of the toenail like this client. You work with your clients' makeup, okay, how they're made up. Sometimes when I do go backwards and forwards just to remove a bulk of nail that I need to, if I don't need to use clippers, I will then finish in one direction just to make sure those edges aren't all frayed and sticking upwards. And then I usually just go down over the end of the nail as well, and that removes any fluff that might be there. Okay, nice and easy. If your client does have discoloration on their toes, you can go over with a sanding block just to remove any shine on the nail, and that's also helps to smooth any roughness, remove any discoloration. I quite like a sanding block. They're nice and easy and they're pretty disposable as well. So it's up to you. You can clean these in between clients and use them on clients, or you can have them as a disposable option for your client. And remember, with a buffer, you can go backwards and forwards. You don't have to do it in one direction. So backwards and forwards all the way across. And that is all the buffing that you need to do on one foot. You shouldn't need to do any more than that. It shouldn't take you ages. It should literally take you 20 seconds and that's it. Okay? Too easy. Beautiful. Okay. So in regards to French polishing, I'm not going to demonstrate on this client because it's just a bit hard to angle the camera. I'm actually just going to demonstrate on my fingers just to show you how we can paint a nice French. All right, and then I'll upload a video which will be a higher definition for you because I think that's going to be more effective for you. Okay, Mr. Model, you can pop off. Thank you. See you later. Beautiful. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this up. Hello, hello. Nice to see you all. Just sanitize my fingernails again. Just remove polish on a couple of mine because I just managed to completely wreck them. I'm actually going to demonstrate a French over a silver, okay, just as something different, just because I think it's going to show up a little bit better on your screens compared to what you're going to be doing. As I say, you can do a French with a colour. You can do it with turquoise, you can do it with white, you can do it with silver, you can do it with red, gosh, you can do it with everything. You can even incorporate like a Halloween theme. That's the other option, which is quite nice. Okay. So you always start off with your base coat, make it nice and your nails are nice and filed, everything looks completely perfect. Nothing worse than trying to create a French on an uneven nail. It just does, it will never work. So make sure that your shapes are really nice and crisp. Okay. Has everyone got French colours or colours of some kind? Yeah.
I've only got gel polish colours.
Yeah. Okay. That's all right. I mean, that's the thing. In manicures and pedicures, we're supposed to be using like a normal polish, like just a normal nail lacquer rather than gel. Mainly because it gives you a real, if you get used to using gel, you'll get used to the fact that gel polish you can play with until the cows come home. You can keep on playing with it and it's not going to set until it goes underneath that light. And that's brilliant, okay? But it is actually easier to paint with a gel polish than it is to do a standard nail polish, okay? And you need to kind of grasp the basics before you go on to using a gel color. Some salons only offer gel color, and that's fine, but you need to know what you're doing with normal nail polish as well. Okay, so on my fingernails, I have done a base coat, just my normal base coat. I've actually done a strengthening base coat on my nails today. So I've used Essie's Grow Stronger, and it actually has a very light French pink tint to it anyway. I quite like this one. So I've done that. I've just got an edge that I just caught, of course. Okay, so I've left my thumb and my ring finger just with base coat on, and the rest I actually have a metallic silver or something a little bit different. So when we are doing a French, you don't need any fancy brushes or anything like that, like it did in that video. You literally need your color. Okay, so I always, by the time I've painted my 10 fingers, however it is that I want them, with my base color. So I've got my base coat and then I've got my base color. So usually that would be a French pink, for instance, like my Mademoiselle. Just this color here, I found it. So you can actually see it's really pretty. It's a lovely color, okay? And then we've also got our Grow Stronger as well underneath that. And when you're bringing your polish, your paint brush out, you're going to be gliding it up out of the pot, and then you're going to come across one side as well. So you actually end up with a nice thin area of paint on your actual brush, okay? Should be nice and easy. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start on one side and come towards the middle, and then the other side, and you're going to come towards the middle as well. Just on the tip of the nail. I'll start off on the middle one here. So I'm starting off right on the edge of the nail. And glide around to the tip. You can see I've done one little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to come going on with the edge of the brush, gliding to the middle and joining those little lines up. I'm then going to leave it. I'm not going to keep going over it, because if you go over it, you're just going to make it streaky. I do have a little bit on the end of my finger, as you can see there. It's not perfect. There is a little bit of mess, but it doesn't matter, because you're going to go and tidy it up at the end. Okay, but overall, we've got a nice, clean, crisp smile line. It's a little bit on the end of the finger, so it doesn't really matter. When we go on to the next nail, make sure you don't have too much on your brush. I start off on one side and I glide down to the middle, on the other side, and I glide down to the center. And usually what I need to do is do 2 coats of color, and that is quite normal, okay? Because the first coat usually goes a little bit streaky no matter what color it is that you're using. And I'm going to do the same on the thumb as well. But on the thumb, I'm actually going to do the silver color just to mix it up a bit. So I'm actually doing a mixture of different Frenches on this particular hand, just to mix it up a bit. So it's not just a standard color. I'm anchoring on with my little finger when I'm painting. So I've done one side. Okay, and then I'm going to come around and I'm going to do the other. You can actually see, you can see that. So I've done the silver, metallic silver on the nail. I have got it on the end of my finger. My fingers are only short. My nails are only short. It's perfectly normal. I'm going to go back and tidy it up at the end. I don't want you to stress that you can't get polish on the end of the finger. It doesn't matter. It's all about the smile line. The smile line is what I want you to concentrate on, not the amount of mess you make. Okay, because it will come to you. But even with years and years and years, unless you're using a really, really tiny fine brush to do my smile lines, which you can also do as well. You can actually use, for instance, an eyeliner brush or a nail art brush. You can incorporate that as well and do your smile lines that way. Find a way that suits you. Okay, you don't have to do it the way that the Demi video says, where you just paint it on and then you go back and you tidy it up with a little bit of nail polish remover and a gel brush. Sure, you can do it that way. That's absolutely fine. But if you're going to be doing it finishing, you know, you're doing colored tips and things like that in different colors, you need to be able to actually really nail a nice crisp smile line of some kind. Okay. So then I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a second coat of my color. So I would do all 10 fingers with my smile lines. So I'm actually using a Tiffany blue-green aqua color at the moment. And gosh, you can go all the way around if you really wanted to, but I always find that you get one end higher than the other. It is easier doing this on a longer nail than on a shorter nail. This gives you the general gist. I've seen people do French polish on the end of a jelly stamper, like for stamping kits and things like that, and like pressing the nail into the colour on the jelly stamper to leave like an indentation of a perfect French on the nail. Gosh, you can do that too if you really feel like it, but I feel like that's going to be a bit fiddly, I suppose. Just get in there and do it, to be honest, but practice makes perfect. The more you do this, the better you're going to get. And you do not need those little stickers. Okay, that's definitely cheating. So I'm back to, so I've done all 10 fingers now, and I'm back to doing my first finger on my first hand. And now with my second coat, I'm just going to glide all the way along. So I make sure I've got a small bead of polish at the tip of my brush, and I'm just dragging that around in one foul swoop, in one movement. I'm going from one side all the way to the other. Okay, nice and easy. And then I will go back and correct my work. I'll do my thumb, I'm anchoring on. I'll do the same on a client as what I would myself, gliding all the way around. And then I would do the other hand as well. And then once they're done, I would do my top coat. I could put any nail art on if you want to stick diamantes on, or any water decals or anything like that. You can do indeed. If you want to do any hand painted designs with a really, really fine nail art brush or an eyeliner brush, you can do so at this stage. And then you're all done, which you may need to encapsulate with top coat over the top of that. You may need to do a double top coat. It's entirely up to you. So does anybody have any questions about that method of French? No, everybody's fine. Everyone's getting into their treatments. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is, if you have any questions, do shout them through. You should be able to press, if you're on your laptops, you can just press your space bar and that will allow you to talk, or you can just like unmute yourself and actually ask questions that way. But I'm just going to watch you now and observe what it is that you are doing. So Amy, what are you doing today?
Nothing too exciting. I'm actually fixing up my own ones. So I'm going to do a gel polish removal first on my own feet. So yeah.
Perfect. Too easy. And then Cassie, what are you doing today?
I'm just doing a pedi on myself.
Yeah, excellent. Perfect.
So yes.
I will let you go on with that. That's absolutely fine. So for all of everything that you guys are all doing today, make sure that you do fill out a consultation form, because that's really important. And you can actually, and make sure you are taking photos of your own toes and fingers and things like that before and afters, and uploading those, because you can still use yourself as your own model for your assessments, which is really good. I don't want all of your models to be on yourself. We do need to have a range of models, but you can do that, but make sure you're filling out your paperwork as well. And what I was going to show you too, when you are doing your polishing on your toes, you need to, when I was talking about getting a tissue, you get a tissue and you twist it like so. It's actually a fibrella, but so I just twizzle it like that. So it's a nice twist. And then literally when I'm doing the toes, I put it in between each toe like so. Okay, and that acts as your toe separator, and that's enough. basically you don't need to use, and then when you take it out, just be really, really careful to unweave it, and then that can just go straight in the bin and you don't even need to think about sterilizing. Okay, because it's just tissue, it can go in the bin. It's not one of those foam toe separators or anything like that. Okay, Ashley, what are you doing today?
I'm doing a pedicure.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I shall let you get on with that. And Ruth, what are you doing today? You're doing your manicures on your mother-in-law. You've already told me. That's good. And Stesha, what are you doing today?
Just doing a manicure.
Yeah, lovely. What polish are you going to be finishing with?
Red.
Excellent. Perfect. Beautiful. I'll let you get on. And Christine, what are you doing?
I'm doing a pedicure on a client, a spa pedicure.
Lovely. Beautiful. And what colour have you chosen to finish with?
Either French or red.
Okay.
We're still deciding.
Still deciding. Too easy. That's fine. I'll let you get on. Perfect. So just so you know, this week's homework is to make sure that you are doing pedicures, and you need to be doing 2 pedicures this week and 2 manicures if you can. Really crack those out and really get your practice in, which would be really good. And then we're also going to start on your social media aspects as well. Okay. I'm just going to mute myself, not talk for a moment, just while I find some bits and pieces, and I'll be right with you. Okay, ladies, so while you are doing your practical, I'm just going to start on your social media units, and I'm just going to talk through what they actually entail. So just carry on as you are and just listen with your ears open. You can always go back and watch this later because I am sharing my screen as well. So overview of social media. Okay, so we've got 2 assessment tasks. Assessment task 1, which is scoping social media, and the other, which is assessment task 2, which is setting up and reviewing social media. So you're actually going to be setting up your own social media if you haven't done so already for your own little business. Okay, that's the whole part of this, which is really exciting. So all of your photos that you've been taking, you can actually upload those onto your own social media as evidence of the work that you do. I would always choose the best ones. There is a student declaration for you to complete, nice and easy, same as always. You just scroll down to the bottom and you click mark as done. And it comes that little green tick in the corner. In regards to your resources, there is a PowerPoint, which I'm going to be going through shortly with you. There's also some useful information videos here for you to watch as homework as well. Okay. There's also information on the top 10 most popular social networking sites. I mean, TikTok is a big one as well at the moment. Everyone's making little TikTok videos, and there's also information on what a hashtag is and how that's incorporated into your social media content. There's also some useful information about social media hack, digital trends, and social media today. And there's some links to different websites there as well. If you do have any questions, you can always send them through on the discussions page or email me directly. So we're going to have a little look at, where are we? What social media is. There's also a free social media guide to help you get started with a strategy on starting your own social media. Really, really good. But for many people, posting a tweet, hashtagging, Instagram caption, and sending out an invite for a Facebook event on Facebook has become common practice. Like, most of us are using Facebook or Instagram at the very least, if not Twitter. I was going to say Tinder then. TikTok and all of the other ones that you can use as well. But also a lot of highly trained professionals are using social media to their advantage to boosting sales within their business. So we've created social media terms and definitions, and there's a whole list of things here that you can have a little read of and what they actually mean, which is really good. There is an overview on YouTube about this whole section, which you can go through on the next page, or you can watch it in your own time. But what you're going to be needing, the main thing is you're going to need to know what your assessments are. So there is a research assessment in relation to the unit of competency, develop web presence using social media for collaboration and engagement. As part of this assignment and all subsequent assignments for this unit, you are required to select a business to focus your assignment on. I'll just wait for that noise to pass and then I'll keep talking. It's all right, next door are having some big concrete slabs and things and big renovations works doing, and got trucks coming in and out the driveway next door today. Okay, so as part of this assignment, you're going to need to do some research into other businesses in your area or online that seem to function really well. And what do they do well on social media? Okay, so to successfully complete this assignment, you'll require access to the following resources: a workplace policies and procedures, including cybersecurity, legislation that aligns with the business, access to the internet, access to 3 or more social media platforms, tools or software that align the goals of the business. Please answer and complete the questions on the appendix attached and upload it for marking. So you're going to need to download here where it says click to download assessment task 1 appendix. So actually click on that and you download it. You need to write everything in your own words. Please don't copy and paste. But make sure it's all complete before you hand it in. Okay. Assessment task 1, scoping social media. So part A, this is all to do with your business needs. So this is all about your business. So list the names or potential name of the business. Flashy nails by Andrea, I don't know. The nature of the business. So what does your business do? What does it offer? Gel, acrylic, things like that. Social media goals. You need to write down 3 or more ways that a social media platform will support the business. What's it going to do for you? So it could be build brand awareness, increase sales, help deliver messages to customers, allow customers to message you. It could be connect and update staff on internal matters, staff collaboration on project ideas for the business. How are you going to use your social media platform? So I'm going to use myself as a for instance. So wherever I've worked, we've always had a private Facebook group where all of our staff are on there, and I will do summaries of staff training that I have put together for the girls, or if we've done staff training, I've put summaries and information. If we've had staff meetings, I've put the minutes of the meetings within there. If we're planning a staff night out, all the information will be on there. We'll share photos of our nights out and things like that and have a good giggle in a private space between each other. And the same as if our boss has any information that they need to, or any changes in legislation that we need to be knowing about, they'll send it to us via email, but they'll also put a post in our Facebook post, go and check your emails, girls. There's been a change in legislation. There's been some new rules and regulations, or we're changing the way we're doing something. I've sent it to you more formally in an email. Please check your emails and tick this post when you've done, or reply to the email when you've read it. So it's a really good way of communicating with staff to make sure no one misses any information. In regards to advertising to a broader scope of people outside of your salon, you can actually use, for instance, Facebook and Instagram and other tools and media to actually target people of a certain age and criteria and location, potential customers, essentially, and actually be able to target those particular people without you really having to put too much brain power and effort into it, which I quite like. It's got all the algorithms in place, and it enables you to target exactly who you need to be talking to, rather than just doing an ad in your local newspaper. Does your target market read the newspaper? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You tell me. Are you going to advertise on radio or not? Is that going to be, and what time of day are you going to be on the radio or on the TV? And will that actually get through to your actual target market? That's why social media is quite different, because people are on social media all day long, in lunch breaks, in tea breaks and things like that. And you can actually post on there and get it to the people, hopefully get it to the people that you need to. It can be as expensive or as inexpensive as you want it to be. You can spend hundreds, you can spend thousands on advertising. Do you always need to? Not always. Not when you're first starting out. So that's what we're doing here. So we need to figure out your business needs. So what are your social media goals? What do you want to try and do? You want to try and recruit clients, get your message out there to the right people. Who are the social media users? So you're going to be, you're going to be the main admin. So your name would go on there. Do you have a couple of other people who will oversee it and review it for you? Because you're going to need people to review this. So a couple of other users. So it might be a family member that's just going to audit your posts. So I actually have my husband that audits my posts to make sure my spelling's all correct and I haven't written the wrong thing, or I'll post something on there and he's like, Tamsin, that didn't make any sense. And I'll be like, oh, okay. And I'll go back and edit it and he'll like give me the right word or something like that. Because sometimes I don't have the right words. It makes sense to me, but sometimes I'll type something and autocorrect will change it to something completely bizarre. And it's important that we have people that pick that up for us. Okay. You may have someone who's in charge of your Facebook messages. Okay. Who are the users? What systems and software would the business like to integrate with? For instance, you might have a single sign-on with Gmail or Facebook accounts, or be accessible from a mobile phone. What security requirements do you need? List the cybersecurity procedures and protocols that are required to be met by the business. So they should all be in your resources. Include any relevant, and you might also need to, because it is a research assignment, you're going to need to look outside of campus for some of these information pieces. Have a Google, see what you can find. Include any relevant legislation, features or functions the social media tool, platform or application will require in order to assist the business to securely meet the business social media goals. Yeah. And these boxes, although they seem small, you've got to get a lot of information in here and it just expands and gets bigger. Okay, so we've created a certain size, but the more you write in there, the boxes just expand and get bigger. Okay, I'm not looking for like 3 words in one of these boxes. You need to answer them in detail. Remember, this is a Cert 3. Business policies and procedures. List all of the other business policies and procedures that need to be considered when developing the business online presence using social media. Okay, I'll let you have a little bit of research into that. Part B, social media tools comparison. So you are going to need 3 different social media platforms and you need to write them in there. So insert the name 1, 2, and 3. So it could be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, for instance. The purpose of the tool. So what are you going to use the app for? What is the app designed to do for those 3 different media outlets? What's the method of uploading importing data? Okay, can you upload text? Can you upload PDF files? Can you upload videos or not? Is there any issues with uploading videos? Does it chop them into pieces? Does it have to take you to a different platform like IGTV? For Instagram, it won't let you upload a full video. Okay. And can you, once you've put that information into these platforms, can you then export it out? Can you do links to different things? Can you put tags on there or not? Can you collaborate with other people? So outline the software's ability for users to collaborate. Outline and then folksonomy. So that means outline the software's functions for classifying and categorizing data, for instance, tagging. You know, like, can you cluster all your pictures together for different things? I know that with Instagram, you have those like little tiles at the top that you can label and cluster information into and tag things into that little story, so to speak. So you can click on that and it tells you a story for different things. I know that, for instance, with me, and like we've just bought a caravan, for instance, we went onto their Instagram and they had at the top, they had family vans, single vans, double vans, bunk van, I don't know, or kitchens, bathroom options, you know, and they had all their images and videos and stuff within those different tiles. That's quite useful. So you could have one for nail art, you could have one for gel nails, you could have one for acrylic nails, you could have one for mani-pedi. Just a little thought there for you. Features and functions, list of all the other functions that could meet or exceed the business needs? Does the app, or does the tool, I should say, give you options for doing different things that you may not need right now, but you might need in the future when your business grows? And what could they be? And what are the potential issues with the tool or function? Okay, list all the areas of concern. So is your area of concern, could you be copied? Could you have your artistic pictures stolen off you and used by another member of society? Could you have your information taken? I don't know. Is it going to work for you? Can you only upload videos to this particular platform rather than everything else that you want to upload? Okay. Nice removal, Christine. Really beautiful movements there, by the way. And then you need to think about staff impact of application. So discuss the impact of the application and what that would have on the role of staff. What tasks would be created as a result of the usage of this software? So for me, what I've learned, which I found quite interesting, is when I've worked in other salons and they've used Facebook Messenger and they've done an advertisement post for a certain facial, for instance, or a certain manicure, and they've targeted it out to the big wide world. And we had like 50 messages a day that we had to get back to. And that was like all through the day. Messages were coming through and you'd have to reply and get these people booked in. And it was great for business because people are interested. It shows you that people are interested and they want to come for these treatments. However, going backwards and forwards with messages is really, really time consuming. And sometimes you actually need an extra person to be able to get back to all these people, okay? You can do auto messages, which are quite useful, and just to save you time, and you can set those up to say something like, oh, we would love to get you booked in. Thank you for showing interest in our special offer. If you could reply with a time and a day that would be, and your phone number that would be suitable, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We'll get back to you within the next 48 hours. Okay, and then they'll get back to you with that information. So you've already saved yourself some time by typing that message out 50 times. It just, Facebook or Instagram automatically sends that message out to those people. Okay, nice and easy. So will you need a particular staff member to actually carry this out for you?
Hi, Tasman. I just got to go. My son's getting dropped off now, so.
Fine, no worries at all. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. And I will see you next time.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Bye. Lovely. So that's assessment 1. Nice and easy. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's not too much work. So you need to find out what your business needs are and how you're going to fulfill them within those assessments that you've got. Okay. Okay. And then after that, so that's your assessment task 1. Make sure that it is completely filled out before you upload it. You need 100% to pass this assessment. You get 2 attempts at this, which is really good. And then we have assessment task 2. Set up and review social media. So using the research that you gathered in your assessment task 1, you need to select 2 social media tools and platforms or software that meet the business social media goals as identified in assessment task 1. Where's it gone? So part A of this assessment, you are to set up these social media presences for the business, link the social media to other business systems. So some examples could be adding a link to the website, sharing contents, sharing information, that kind of thing. You set up 2 or more internal business users. So you need to add people in as admin. Okay, so a key manager of the platform, for instance. You need a real or a test user. So you can always use each other for this and send each other a message, or if you've got a friend or something close by, or husband or mum or whatever, or someone who, or your niece or nephew or something, someone who's really good with social media who can assist you with this, who are going to be a test user. And what they need to be doing is commenting on the photos that you post up, commenting on anything that you're doing, and interacting. So they're testing the waters to see that your posts are working, that the comments are live, that the messenger is working, and you're going to need to screenshot this feedback that you're getting, okay, and upload that with this tool. And then you've got any other users. So invite your friends to like your page and get them to interact, okay? Get them to send you a message, get them to send you some feedback on your nails. Oh, those nails look really, really great. Can't wait to book in with you. Even do a review on your page as well. You know, Cassie does a really beautiful hand massage. You should really book in with her. She's fabulous. Okay. Test each of the social media presences by each user, established, interacting. So they need to be posting, sharing, tagging, commenting on the site, using text or other media. So they might share a video or post. Ensure that you see 3 or more different file types to adequately test site's functionality. Once implemented, review the social media tool and make a report. So this takes a little bit of time, so it's really important that you do get this up and running as soon as possible. And then part B of this assessment, once you've activated your social media presence, you are to work with the internal personnel to review the social media that you have done and identify any required changes. Are there things that you've uploaded? You know, are the photos slightly pixelated and you need to upload it in a different file format to make it a higher quality image? Is that something that you need to do? Do you need to work on your wording? Do you need to turn your autocorrect off because it keeps wanting to change something that you're writing? You need to determine if the social media platform addresses the goals of the business as you identified in question 1, assessment 1. Confirm that the site is secure and meets the business policies and procedures as you identified in assessment 1. Identify and fix any errors. For the purpose of this assessment, if you do not have access to a workplace team member or other student or assessor, they need to play the role of a team member. So please answer and complete the questions on the appendix attached and upload for marking. So there we actually have click to download assessment task 2, appendix 1. To successfully complete this assessment, you'll be required to access the following: a workplace, that could be your office, okay? 1 or more team members or other students or assessors that can act in this role, friends, family, things like that. Workplace policies and procedures, including cyber security. So we actually have a section on that in our DEMI International Policies and Procedures for you to have a little look at. There's also lots of policies and procedures manuals available online for you to refer to as well. You need access to the internet. Well, here we are speaking today and you're watching the recording. For those of you at home, you obviously have access to the internet, so that's great. Big tick for that one. Access 2 or more social media platforms. You also need tools or software that align to the goals of the business, and access to 3 different file types, for instance, photos, videos, links, images, texts, or documents. You know, so for instance, if you're setting up a social media platform, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or both, for instance, TikTok, whatever you want to do you have a favorite nail artist? do you want to share one of their tutorials or some of their work and go, this is my inspiration, this is who inspires me? You know, have any of you Googled Sandra Smith, your other nail trainer? Have any of you seen her work? She's amazing. She does the most phenomenal 3D work. She's won competitions. She's done all sorts of things. She's an absolute mind of information. That's why she's our head nail trainer. Her nail art way extends my capability and skill set. She's phenomenal. So yeah, pick her brain when you've got her from next week. She's amazing. So yeah, so you can link your social media, you can add little videos on there, you can add links to other websites and pages and products and download product gifts, things like that, and upload them onto your own social media, and then screenshot everything and upload it within this tool. Okay. And let's have a little look at Appendix 2. So set up and review social media template. So you've downloaded this template. It looks very similar to the other one. It's still fuchsia pink. And you need to fill this out. So social media presence 1 and social media presence 2. Okay. So you need to have a little look at this and fill out all of these little boxes, exactly the same as you did in the previous. You can add your screenshots in there, which is nice and easy. So if you're adding in a, just move you guys out the way. So for instance, in here, evidence of established, so for instance, social media 1, Instagram, essence by doing this as an idea. Oops, amplify. So these are my two. Okay, so I've got Essence by Tamsin. I've got it on Facebook and Instagram. Evidence of established person. So in here, you would go to insert at the top. You would insert a picture. And then we would go to, for instance, you have any screenshots or anything, but you get images of things that you have done. So you could insert your, so I'm just showing you how to insert a picture, and you can do exactly the same through here, and you can go back and you can go and insert lots of different pictures. I've done that, for instance. Several at the same time. You can insert pictures of products, all that kind of thing, but ideally they'd be part of the post. And you can insert those into there, and it's going to go absolutely crazy because then you're going to have to resize all of your images and make them nice and a little bit small. Okay, but you get the general gist of what it is that you're going to need to do. I'm just going to undo that. Business user account name. So for me, my name is Tamsin Smith. That's who the account belongs to. Test or real user account name. So I could put David Smith could be my tester, for instance. Other user account names are established, so it could be TTBT 84 is one of my testers. Tester user. Okay, and you can actually screenshot any interactions between that and that person and pop that in there. Example, and you need to do that a few times. Part B, who did you conduct the review? And you do that for both social media presences. Who did you conduct the review with? List one or more team members you undertook the review with. Is this site effective in meeting the business social media goals? So in 2 or 3 sentences, explain your answer, and if yes, why, and if not, why not? Is this site effective in meeting the business goals and procedures? So for me, yes, I can showcase my skincare on there. I can showcase my work on there. I can interact with clients. I can develop hype and interest and get people commenting. You can run competitions on there, okay? And if I post to my Instagram, it automatically uploads to my Facebook as well, which I find really, really interesting, and it saves me a job. And then I have different clients on both. So some of my prospective customers are Facebook only, some are Instagram only. I actually get more interaction through Instagram than I do from Facebook, but then I've also got lots of people that use more Facebook than Instagram as well. And I find I have different people on my different sites. I've got different clients. So I always make sure I post both ones, the same on both. But I have been a bit quiet on my social media recently. I've just had a few months off. This year it's been a bit manic. So is this site effective? Outline any errors you've identified and rectified as part of the testing process. So these things could be grammatical errors, autocorrect errors, test users reported the issue and I edited my posts. Okay, something like that. And that's what you would need to do. Okay, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Just make sure you're filling out this and then you can upload it into your, save that, and then you can upload it back into your canvas. It should be nice and easy. So does anybody have any questions about that so far? It's pretty simple. I'm going to go through your social media PowerPoint, okay, so that you've all got this as well. And how's everybody going with their manis and pedis? It looks like they're going well. Okay. So what is social media? I'm going to go through the PowerPoint with you. All right, so we've got 24 slides to get through. You can just listen as we go. So what is social media? These are computer-mediated technologies that allow the creating and sharing of information, of ideas, of career interests and other forms of expression via virtual communications and networks. Let's try and see. Go back. Beautiful. Welcome back, Ashley. Good to have you back here. I'm just going through the social media content. Okay, so social media, they're computer-mediated technologies that allow the creating and sharing of information, of ideas, of career interests and other forms of expression via virtual communities and networks. Websites and applications dedicated to forums, microblogging, social networking, social bookmarking, Social curation wikis among different types of social media. Okay, sorry, did you want to chat? Nope, Sophie's talking. So here are some examples of social media. So we've got Facebook. Everyone knows Facebook. It's a popular free social media website, allows registered users to create profiles, upload photos, videos, send messages, and keep in touch with friends, families, and colleagues. So like I was saying, I do have private Facebook groups that I use to chat with colleagues with. I actually have a private page just for clients that I just share private information with all of my beautiful clients. A lot of my clients are down on South Coast, New South Wales, and I'm obviously living up here in Cairns now, and we still interact, which is really, really lovely. And they like to see what I'm getting up to up here, so I kind of put like a little bit of personal information into that as well, and also information about new product launches as well. I let my clients know first before I launch on my actual public page, which keeps them feeling like they're a valued client, which is really nice. So Facebook is very, very useful. And then we've got Twitter. It's a free microblogging service that allows registered members to broadcast short posts called tweets. Twitter members can broadcast tweets and follow other users' tweets by using multiple platforms and devices. Google Plus is Google's social networking project designed to replicate the way people interact offline more closely than is the case of other social networking services. The project slogan is real life sharing, rethought for the web. Then we've got Wikipedia. It's a free open content online encyclopedia created through the collaborative effort of community members known as Wikipedians. Anyone registered on the site can create an article for publication. Registration is not required to edit articles. Now, Wikipedia is absolutely brilliant, but because anybody can write it, you have to kind of fact check yourself a little bit. It's not gospel. You think with it being an encyclopedia, everything in there would be very truthful and accurate, but not everyone's educated enough to put information in there, yet they still do. So you need to use common sense with everything that you read on the internet, unless it comes out of a book. Just be mindful of that. So here are some examples of some other social media. We've also got LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn and I don't use it for anything, but probably I should. So it's a social networking site designed specifically for the business community. The goal of the site is to allow registered members to establish and document networks of people that they know and trust professionally. And then we've got Reddit. This is a social news website and forum where stories are socially curated and promoted by site members. The site is composed of hundreds of sub-communities known as subreddits, and each subreddit has a specific topic such as technology, politics, or music. Reddit site members are also known as Redditors, and they submit content which is then voted upon by other members. Okay. And then we've got Pinterest. Pinterest is brilliant for nail art, just so you know, and inspiration for nails. It's a social curation website for sharing and categorizing images found online. It requires a brief description, but the main focus of the site is visual. So Pinterest, just think of it as like your, like a dream board. I actually use Pinterest for my wedding, which is really dangerous because you end up wanting things that you didn't even know existed. So yeah, I had a dream board for my wedding and had different ideas for different table decorations and wedding dresses and all that little half. But you can do it for beauty salons as well, and interior design, and oh gosh, all sorts of things. So clicking on an image will take you to the original source. So for example, if you click on a picture of a pair of shoes, you might be taken to the site where you can purchase them. But people download pictures and then post them within their own pictures as well. So sometimes it doesn't take you where you think it's going to take you. It'll take you to some private site, Pinterest site, not the actual source of the shoe, for instance.
So social media is becoming an integral part of life online as social websites and applications proliferate. Most traditional online media include social components such as comment fields for users, so people can type in information and comment on images. In business, social media is used to market products, to promote brands, connect to current customers and foster new business. Social media analytics. So this is the practice of gathering data from blogs and social media websites and analysing that data to make the business decisions. Most common use of social media analytics is to mine customer sentiment to support marketing and customer service activities, which is really interesting. Social media marketing, otherwise known as SMM, takes advantage of social networking to help a company increase brand exposure and broaden customer reach. The goal is usually to create content compelling enough that users will share it with their social networks. One of the key components of SMM is social media optimization, otherwise known as SMO. So like the search engine optimization, so SEO, SMO is a strategy for drawing new and unique visitors to a website. SMO can be done in two ways: by adding social media links to content, such as news feeds and sharing buttons, or by promoting activity through social media via status updates, tweets, or blog posts. So what are RSS feeds? They're a really simple syndication. So for most WordPress websites, you simply add the word feed to access the RSS at the end of the website's URL. It's a format used to publish content that is regularly published, like a blog or a news headline. It's a standard format, which means that every RSS feed is designed to look basically the same for consistency. This typically includes a post title, a teaser, or a full body text, plus the date published and the author. These will display the most recent entries first, through the number of total entries will vary, just so you know what they are. So why should you use an RSS feed? It's a quick and easy way to share trusted sources, feed content you wrote to multiple social media sites at one time. Okay? It positions you as a resource for great content. Using RSS feeds is just one example of how to post content to your social media channels. Don't set up the RSS and use it as a replacement for something else that you're doing on social media. Use this method to enhance your social media presence. So there we go. So in that image there, you can see the power of the RSS feeds. So users are forced to visit every time to check you for new content individually. However, with RSS, it's automatically delivered to a user. New content is published and they get sent that information. Okay. And if you put information on Google as well, so you know, like you put in your post up or whatever, or to do with advertising. So how to set up an RSS feed on your social media account. So identify the URL for the site, your author profile, and the category you want to feed. Go to the tool you would like to use. Based on which tool you elect to use, set up your RSS feed following their instructions. Authorize access to your social media accounts via the tool that you have selected to use. We've then got something called customer relationship marketing. This can be a very powerful business tool. For example, establishing a Facebook page allows people who like your brand and the way that you conduct your business to like your page, which increases revenue through communication, marketing, and networking. Import and export functions. So to use multimedia, you rely on a team of input and output devices that are responsible for both transmitting and receiving information between you and the computer. So you're going to need a computer monitor, camera, keyboard, mouse, printer, speakers, really, really simple stuff. Through social media sites, you can follow conversations about your brand for real-time marketing and data feedback. From the customer's perspective, social media makes it really easy to tell a company and everybody else about their experience with that company whether it be good or bad. Okay, ideally we want you to have 5 stars all the time, but occasionally you get that one person that will give you negative feedback, unfortunately. So the business can also respond very quickly to both positive and negative feedback, attend to customers' problems, and maintain and regain or rebuild customer confidence. Enterprise social networking. So this allows a company to connect individuals who share similar business interests or activities. Internally, social tools can help employees access information and resource that they needed to work together effectively to solve business problems.
Sorry, Tamsin, I have to go.
That's fine, Ruth, you go. That's okay. No
I'll
worries.
upload everything that I did today as well.
Excellent, brilliant. So with this, you just need to do the 2 assessments with social media. You've got 2 weeks to do this.
Yeah.
And get it in. If you can get it in by the end of the week, brilliant. Keep working through your practical. And I'm not sure if you submitted your quiz yet or not. I haven't had a look yet.
I have. Yeah.
I'll get that marked and I'll send that back to you. Hopefully tonight I'm going to get that done, and I'm going to put the Zoom link of what we're doing now. I'm going to put that in our discussions page. It takes ages, so I'll probably do that tomorrow when it's doing its thing. And then you can also watch this morning's conference back if you wanted to as well, because that will be available from tomorrow.
Yeah, perfect.
No worries. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay. So externally, public social media platforms help an organisation stay close to their customers and make it easier to conduct research that they can use to improve business processes and operations. Social media is also often used for crowdsourcing. So customers can use social networking sites to offer ideas for future products or tweaks to current ones. The integration of social media in the business world can also pose challenges. Social media policies are designed to set expectations for appropriate behaviour and ensure that employers' posts will not expose the company to legal problems or public embarrassment. So such policies include directives for when an employer should identify himself as a representative of the company on a social networking site, as well as rules for what type of information can be shared. Okay, so for instance, if you're part of a franchise, there are really strict rules for social media, even down to like what images that you can actually post. Some franchise will only let you post the content that they use and they'll send it to you directly. They do say that you can send it to you. What was I going to say? It's gone. What was I just saying? Sorry, the dog barking completely distracted me. So yeah, so they will send you content that you can post to your individual sites, but it has to be regulated. But they do say that you can post stories. Whereas when you're a sole trader and you're on your own, you can, as long as you are following any legal and ethical protocols and that you're being respectful, pretty much you can post whatever you like that's going to benefit your business and bring clients into your business, okay? As long as there's no nudity or swearing or anything racist or non-inclusive and that kind of thing. Okay, guidelines. So guidelines are set out by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. So there's a question about this, ladies and gentlemen, about what legislation must we follow in regards to social media. It's written just there, okay? It's called the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. Okay, these guys work and enable us. They basically say that we can't make any misleading claims. They actually will monitor pages. They respond for moving deceptive claims and comments. So some other laws and legislations include those governing defamation, mining for evidence, restrictions on freedom of comment and unauthorized access and privacy as well. Okay, so for instance, have you ever had people try and befriend you on Facebook and you're like, I thought I was already your friend. And when you look, you realize that they've had their photo basically scanned off Facebook and someone's made up a fake profile and you have to report it. So that's part of the ACCC guidelines. Comparing the different types of social media tools. So what are the benefits, ease of use of tools available, disadvantage, limitations, etc. So this is all what's coming into what's going to become relevant for your homework tasks, for your assessment tasks. Let's have a little look. For example, you can have a look what types of tools are available for use on the applications, so on these programs. So you can make client lists, visibility of topics, text and file content, uploading files such as PDF, photos, video and audio, evaluation tools, image and design tools, document linking, tagging, input and output devices, and RSS feeds as well. So how easy is it to use different social media tools? So this is how do we assess using social media? How do you decide whether or not the social media that you've made up as part of your assessment is actually suitable for your business? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. How easy is it to use? What difficulties did you have when using them? Are there things that you particularly like about this tool, such as Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever? What are the things you dislike? And what things would you like to see improved or included in these certain tools? You'll need to consider these things when choosing the right type of media tools to use for your business. There are some problems associated with social media, and these are privacy issues, security, addiction. Some people get addicted to social media and just can't stop scrolling, basically. I just find a lot of social media videos these days are just pictures of people squelching slime. I don't think I've ever clicked on slime in my life, and for some reason that seems to be all that's on there at the moment. I'm hoping this passes and it's all a phase because it's a bit annoying. Slime must be something that people really like at the moment, and those little popping bubble fidget toys, which I just think is just rubbish that all goes into landfill. Okay, so social issues, so bullying and things like that, cyber attack, all that fun stuff. Okay, so these are the issues that we need to really think about and how we can avoid them within our own social media. So when you're making up your social media sites and you're allowing people to message you personally and book in via Facebook Messenger or Instagram Messenger and things like that, you need to figure out your accessibility, because you don't want people messaging you at 3 a.m. in the morning when you're trying to sleep and your phone's going off and you've got 20 messages coming through and someone's like, can someone answer me? Can someone answer me? Can someone answer me? It's always good to say, you know, after a certain time of day, the messages won't come through to you, and those are all things that you can set up within your settings, which allows for your own privacy as well. You're not expected to answer anybody outside business hours. If you start answering people outside business hours, it's probably not a good thing. Okay. So, yes, things like that. All right. So does anybody have any questions with everything that we've gone through so far? I think we've gone through everything quite well. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen in a moment. So that's basically the social media PowerPoint that we've run through. That is your resources. We've also got the videos here as well. So RSS made easy. What is RSS? you didn't understand what it was I was talking about, there's a brilliant little video here that you can click on. You can click on it and say watch later. So you have a feed to just watch and you know what you need to watch later. That's something that I do. And then I watch them later on without me having to go into Canvas. And it just goes straight onto you have to make sure you're logged in as YouTube, and how these things work. There's also some more information here. Some useful information can be found at Social Media Hack, Digital Trends, Social Media Today, so on and so forth. So you've just got those 2 assessments to do. You've got 2 weeks to do them. If you can get them in by this weekend, even better, because then I can mark them and shoot them back to you, which is nice and easy. And then working on your pedicures, which you're all doing at the moment, which is fantastic. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and then I can see you all again, which is fantastic. Beautiful. Stesha, how did you go with your nails?
We finished them. I just uploaded them.
Fantastic. I'll have a little look at them in a moment, which will be brilliant. And Amy, how have you been going?
Yeah, really good. My feet needed that, so it was lovely.
Excellent, excellent. Good, 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 good. Oh, it's a bit hard to massage your own feet, but anyway, that's fine. Oh dear. And Ashley, how are you going there? Sorry to stop you. Yay! Oh, they look lovely. Very nice. I look forward to seeing a really nice image submitted when you've got that all sorted, but do make sure that you are, of course, filling out your consultation forms as well. Really, really important. And Christine, how are you going? Oh, you're taking your photos. I'll just let you do that first and then you can chat.
Yeah, I just finished them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yay! All in brilliant time. I love it.
Mommy.
I can hear a little one chatted away there. Okay, so well done, everybody. You've all done really, really well today. Remember, with your homework tasks with doing manicures and pedicures, please video your massage and upload that section, even if it's just, you know, propping your phone up against a water bottle or something and angling it so you can see your massage, and then just uploading that video. That's great. It should be nice and easy. And it should only be like a couple of minutes or something. It doesn't have to be really, really long. As long as you're going through each individual movement, I'm quite happy with that as well. All right, but make it nice and relaxing for your client. So I'm going to post everything into our discussions page. I'm going to upload this onto YouTube like I did before. And that way you can go back and see that. So see me chat through the social media presence if need be. If not, you can read it all through in your own time as well. You've got 2 weeks to do that. You also need to do 2 pedicures this week and 2 manicures as well, please. And out of that, I would like one of those on the hands and on the feet to be a French polish. And remember, they can either be like a creative French, so using colour of any kind. You could even do red tips if you really wanted to. It's entirely up to you. Or they can be a classic French with the pink and the white as well. If you haven't got your kits, just pop out and go and grab yourself a couple of different colours, a French colour kit, for instance. There's so many different polishes, out there. As I said, I really like Essie Mademoiselle, which is this colour here. She's a really gorgeous, like peachy, semi-translucent, milky kind of pink. And it's really forgiving. And it's quite a fine formulation. It doesn't go streaky in any way whatsoever. And then I use a really nice bright white for my tips. Or as I've done today, I've done really nice Tiffany blue colour with a silver background, just for a bit of fun, just as something a little bit different. Okay. And always finish with a top coat, and you can do all your tidying up at the end. I usually do all my tidying up at the end, and then I do a top coat, and that's how I finish my nails. All right, so I'm going to sign off, ladies. Does anybody have any other questions before I leave you? everyone's all good and they're saying goodbye to their models. You will have Sandra next week and she'll be looking after you, which will be fantastic. And yeah, pick her brain about nail art. She's a nail art wizard. She's beautiful. All right, goodbye for now, ladies. I'm going to get marking your tools and I will see you later. Thank you.